Hello, Brian Barrett here.
Hey, Brian. We're all in here, and Frank and Missy are here. We're just waiting a couple moments before I put on the camera.
You bet. Yeah. Okay.
So the definition.
Let me get my agenda. Oh, good.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jacob Pride. I'm the Chair of the Board of Supervisors. This is the Smithfield Township Board of Supervisors regular meeting, April 27th, 2021. It's 7:03, so I'll call this meeting to order. If you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of
The United States of America, to the
one
nation, to God, invisible, liberty, justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business is those present. We have Supervisors Lovenheim and Barrett, Solicitor Ron Karasak, Engineers John Tressler and Missy Kruger, Office Manager Julia Heilicke, Frank Riccobono, and we also have Doug Olmsted for DEPG. Next, minutes of March 23rd and of our regular meeting, and then our April 13th regular work session. Have you both had the chance to take a look at those?
I have, yep. I make a motion that we pass both of those.
Do I hear a second? Second by Mr. Levenheim. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Public comments on the agenda. This is to what's included and what is not included. If anyone in person would like to speak on that, or if anybody on Zoom would like to, we will entertain that now. Okay, hearing none, we can move on to public hearings, which we have none, and plans to act on. Our first up is the Jones-Duplessis minor subdivision and lot line adjustment. John, do you want to speak to the review letter that you...
Yeah, John, go ahead. We issued a review letter on April 14th. I don't think the zoning comments, which are the ones that can cause a problem for an applicant, I don't think there's anything in the zoning comments that would cause a problem. But there are still a couple outstanding saldo comments that need to be addressed. Again, I don't know that they would be problematic. There is a waiver that the board is being asked to approve, and that is for the applicant not to provide a title report. This is a waiver that comes up frequently with these types of plans. We generally support it. I would support it in this case, but we have yet to hear back from the applicant's engineer or surveyor in this case to address these plans. So I'm not sure what the timeline is, Ron. Do you know what it is?
I'm not sure when the revised plan was filed. I'm going from his letter of February 18. He granted a 90-day extension. And in fact, I don't even know if a revised plan was filed. He granted a 90-day extension as per his letter of February 18th, which would take us to May 19th. I also have a notation that he may have filed a revised plan on February 11th, which was may have reviewed.
February 11th was when he filed a revised plan.
So, using that date as opposed to his extension date, February 18th, the date would be May 12th. In order to be safe, I think we can easily go with the date of his letter of the 18th, because he says, I'll grant a 90-day extension, although he doesn't say from when. So maybe talking here, and I'm sort of thinking as I'm talking, maybe we should do May 12th to be safe. That's 90 days from his revised plan date. Mm-hmm. Then we don't get into 90 days from when.
Right.
So we have until May 12th. I don't know if the board meets again before May 12th.
We'll meet at May 11th, so we can cover it then.
but I believe that the applicant needs, or the applicant's engineer needs to do something with respect to being here, so that we don't have the same issue as we're gonna have now with Jones and Zaslinski, where you granted a, conditional approval, but now the engineer or applicant, planning professional, never signed the conditional approval form.
Right.
Never signed the saldo waiver form, now we have that hanging out there.
Right.
So,
On the 11th, you're going to have to deny the plan
If they don't
if they
respond.
don't show up and either, they don't satisfy the conditions of my
Mhm.
April 14th letter or
Right.
grant an additional extension.
unless they are close enough that there are just a couple of conditions left,
Mhm.
you may say, okay, we'll grant you conditional approval tonight
Sure.
on these couple of conditions. But if there's too many out there, it just should not occur. But in any event, I would suggest at this point that we table the matter since it appears that there is enough time to address this on May 11th.
I'll move that we table the Jones to Plishny minor subdivision until May 11th. Do I hear a second? Second by Mr. Levenheim. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And next is, the Manowski minor subdivision plan. Julia, do you want to talk a little bit about that? I know you and John did some research.
Yes, so the reason this is on your agenda for today, is that we have been unable to locate any, testing from the, planning module. Our SEO, Scott Brown, has asked, if the board would like to waive these fees for testing because we did have them in our possession, and due to the complications of former SEO, we no longer have access to those tests.
I think that, you know, since they were in our possession and we're unable to locate them from our prior SEO and he's proven uncooperative, I think it's only the right thing that we consider waiving, that cost. I don't know what my colleagues feel, but that's my position.
I feel the same.
I do too.
Okay, do I hear a
So-
motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And these are just my notes, Mr. Chair, that's so as to, enable new testing to be done.
That is
Correct.
I believe, I sent an email to the board with this information. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe, $150.
Right. Under the old fee schedule at this point. Okay.
And there is then the item, I don't know if Julie's done, I'm sorry, Julie, if you're not done, I don't want to talk over you. Is that, again, on January 26th, board indicated that it was getting conditional preliminary plan and final plan approval, along with granting a saldo waiver request. Now, there was no one here at that meeting. However, I sent to Mr. Forthright the conditional approval form that we have everyone sign. Mr. Petras and Mr. Olmsted sign it for their development, should not be done for, should be done for everybody, along with the saldo waiver form. I don't have anything back from Mr. Forthright. Now, again, I sent it to him via email. Did his server reject my submission as, spam or junk, because I don't really deal with him that much, and his server may recognize my server as a bad server, you know what I mean? But, this thing expires on May 5 in the sense that if you were gonna do something with this, you have until May 5 in which to, do this. And I don't know if you even can anymore, quite frankly. I'm saying May 5 because it's a 90-day time frame from when a plan was refiled on February 4. So we count the 90 days from that. I don't know, again, you have no signed conditional approval form, you have no signed saldo form, Under the law, you give the notice to the applicant within 15 days of
Right.
action as to what was done. That was never done because we assumed that Courtright would sign the paperwork, so I'm not sure how you want to handle it, but that's,
Julia, you've spoken to Stan. Do you think you could talk to him and get him to sign another extension?
or give him to sign the forms I sent, either way.
Right, yes.
You know, if he signs the forms I sent, then that's fine too. I don't know, do you want me to send another batch to you, Julia, so you have them? The stuff I sent to him, I copied you guys on, that was on January 30th. An email to him, and then I copied, the chair, Lovenheim, Mr. Barrett, John, and yourself.
I have the conditional approval and the other waiver forms, I can read that out too.
Again, maybe he didn't get mine or whatever, but we've gotta have that in place. If he doesn't do something, then I don't know, you gentlemen may wanna call a special meeting to address this, because this blows out on May 5, and you won't be meeting again by then.
Right. Maybe you can reach him tomorrow and then we can go from there. Okay. All right.
So again, I would suggest you table it for the office manager to see if she can round them up, and if not, then table it forward. On the plan, obviously, you already voted for the new testing.
I suppose the proper thing would be to move to table this pending
You know what, it's already been accepted, it's already been worked on.
Yeah.
No, don't do
Okay.
that. You made the motion for the waive the testing, that's all you need
Right,
to do.
okay. Excellent. Next, we have, our Smithfield Gateway update, which includes, a litany of a couple of, different, documents, mostly correcting some things that we talked about, before, and then also some new things. So, Doug, Jim, you wanna take it away?
Sure, you've got, three items that you have listed, discuss the, project update is, I'll start off with the forms and stuff first. The TE 160 forms, we, use the newer forms, but since most of the application is using the older forms, they asked us to go back and use the older forms. So, it's just a reaffirmation approval on your part as far as and just for those of us that are not intimately familiar with the verbiage of the acronyms from PennDOT, that is for the traffic signal. This authorizes you in order to reapply, I should say, for the traffic signals for the proposed intersection, which would be at Road A with Motor Farm Drive and Route 209, and also changing the signalization software at 447 and 209 so that it is more closely coordinated with how the two signals would operate together, so that you don't end up creating some of the headaches that you see like along 611s where they're out of sync, and you end up causing traffic jam like no tomorrow. The same thing with respect to the HOP condition statements. Previous one that was signed by PMI, Pocono Mountain Industries, because the overall HOP is in the name of Pocono Mountain Industries, who is the entity that got the grant to help pay for this work. However, this road intersection is going to be in the name of DEPG, that they wanted the form re-signed, that DEPG Mosier as the co-signatory in addition to the township. So that's the reason for doing that. You've got two resolutions before you for each of the separate the last item, as far as the project update, it came in very late. We did send an indemnification agreement that was, part of the conditional approval that was granted back at the end of March. And, we would like to be able to have the supervisors, the only changes that were made to that document that was provided by, Mr. Karasak was basically the name of the entities that are basically gonna be, subject to that indemnification agreement and the signatories, thereof. But other than that, there are really no substantive changes or any substantive changes with respect to that indemnification agreement. And to allow you, we're hoping that you would also entertain a motion to approve the signature of that agreement, subject to Mr. Karasak's final review of the documents that were submitted to him. We don't have to wait for another meeting.
Hey, Ron and John, do you have any comments? I know that everybody's got these documents, well, at least the HOP one from the email and the TE 160s.
Yeah, as Doug said, from my perspective, it's the same thing that you've already approved, it's just on a different form.
Sure.
And as to the HOP things and the application for the signals, again, they're the same documents that you have before. Just remember, the township is, I don't mean to like frustrate anything, it's not to be left-handed comment, but you're on the hook for the whole deal. Repair, operation, maintenance, et cetera, on these documents. Now, if we're gonna get reimbursed, okay, but just understand that, you're paying for knockdowns, equipment failure, you have to have traffic engineers on call, and you need to have, signal people on call, et cetera. So keep that in mind. These are, significant obligations on behalf of the township, at such time as, the signals become, part of the deal.
Yes, the maintenance costs associated with the traffic signals would be part of the operation and maintenance agreement that we will, finalize with, Ron in the township over the next, month or so as part of the building up the land development plan. So we expect that and realize that those costs would be to themselves.
And as to the indemnification agreement, I've been in a seminar all day. These I was able to review because John sent them to me yesterday. I haven't reviewed the indemnification agreement. Doug sent them to me. If you want to act on it on the strength that it's on position of my approval, I'll look at them. And you said, you sent them to me today?
Yeah.
All right, so I haven't looked at my email today again because I was in a seminar, but I'll look at them tomorrow and then I can report back to Julie and say yay, nay, or something in between. I don't have a problem with that.
Sounds good.
If they came from Mark, and I'll be in touch with him and discuss the stuff, et cetera, but just name change and some format, I can't see that being an issue, but let me at least look at them. I just haven't had a chance today.
Okay.
But I did make time to look at these other things.
I appreciate it, thank
Do
you.
any of my colleagues have any questions before I entertain motion?
It's not a question, but I'm just curious, at, the COG meeting on Monday, the, guest speaker was someone from PennDOT, who was running through all of the Monroe County projects over the next year. And unless I'm mistaken, I felt that, Smithfield Gateway was not included. I just want to make sure it was their oversight and they are planning to do something this year.
We're paying for it. Yeah. It goes through their system, and once it's permitted, so it's being permitted as a private project, and then it'll be constructed as a public project. So it doesn't show up in their system as a PennDOT project. Permitting is not a PennDOT project. So we are a hybrid. And so that's the reason why it doesn't show up how long.
Hmm.
We're not creating all these plans and all these forms just because.
Well, hearing that, I'll entertain a motion on resolution number 472, authorizing the chair to sign TE 160 for 209 and Mosier Farm Drive.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Next is authorizing the chair to sign, a resolution number 473, authorizing the chair to sign, TE 160 for 209 and 447. The only change between those two is the location. So, I'll move that we, adopt resolution number 473. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Levenheim. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We also talked about, the HOP condition statement with the same substantive, or non-substantive changes. So I'll entertain a motion on the HOP condition statement.
That, if I may interrupt, Mr. Chair, that is an indemnification agreement that was prepared.
No. He's talking about the condition.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, I thought that was already acted on. Okay.
I'll make the motion.
All right.
Okay, motion by Mr. Levenheim. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
Last one would be identification.
okay, and Ron, you're available tomorrow to review this and let Julia know, yes or
I will
no?
review it tomorrow and then report back to the township and council and or planning professionals for the applicant, so they know what the story is. So I'll look at it. And I would usually, Mr. Wolf gives me both a marked up copy and a clean copy, so if you have given me a marked up copy, that makes it an easier, quicker read. Okay.
Excellent. Hearing that, do I hear a motion to approve the indemnification agreement subject to Mr. Karasak's, approval? Okay, motion by Mr. Levenheim, all second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, other project updates or?
I'd like to, for perspective, we are full speed ahead. Our goal is to close our construction loan, to start building the St. Luke's building sometime between June 1 and June 15th. Our plans are in. We appreciate that they're being reviewed. We are anticipating the HOP being done in the next several weeks. We're really down to one property owner that we're very close to having a resolution with, and we're tremendous details. Never seen anything like it with PennDOT, but we're getting there. The NPDES permit is expected shortly, and we'll be responding to the plans that were approved, subject to changes. Again, to be in hand here in the first week of May. Everything is quickly in motion that way. The development agreement we have a draft from Mark Wolf. We'll be issuing that probably within the next week to 10 days. It's moving forward. We've got a real time schedule to deliver this. You see the pipe work. And that did approve our giant pipe that's going underneath 209. That took some doing, but that's behind us at this point. We're moving ahead. All the other things necessary, a lot of real estate taxes, take care of whatever escrows are needed, you'll let us know. I think we're still going good on that. MUA, So, everything, we went ahead and we appreciate all the help that it was done for us. We're gonna deliver a really first-class project.
Excellent. Thank you.
When will you be able to give us some sort of a schedule of what's gonna be going on as far as road construction this summer, so that we can put it in our newsletter and Facebook and let people know?
So the next meeting was May 11th?
Yeah.
I'll have a schedule for you prior to that.
Excellent. That'll be helpful.
We actually have a conference with PennDOT on Friday this week.
Should Jacob attend that conference?
No, it's a phone call with the consultants to review documents, prepared by Langen.
Okay. That's the thought.
The authority, Chuck Lanner's group, they go to board tomorrow. As you know, they're acting as a conduit for the, security. So they go to, Chuck goes to his board tomorrow, getting approval of that relationship, and, so that's an important step in this. We're, everything's underway.
Good to hear. Anybody have any other questions for Jim or Doug? Thank you very much for being here tonight. And you will hear from us tomorrow about getting these, documents.
Yes, hopefully if I could be able to pick them up, lunchtime. Get them to my office and scanned in, forward them on to.
Brian, will you be able to come to the office before noon tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay, fantastic, then we'll make that.
Well, what I'll do is I'll wait until I'm notified, we'll go with Ron's timetable. And if he's able to get everything in order, then I'll be ready to go. I just need notice.
We only need 2 signatures.
Sounds good.
We don't need.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, you don't need the signature, is that it?
No, do.
No, Brian, we'll need your signature on the resolutions that are part of the TP 160.
Well, I'm sorry, did I overhear something that I didn't, you don't need my signature, is that what somebody said?
I was just asking
we
on
do.
other documents because I'm gonna be out of town. Nothing to do.
Okay.
We'll catch Robert's signature this evening before you leave.
Yeah, and I don't think, that's fine.
All right.
Neighbor, I don't know over there, I would just say that, he's been very cooperative and, a very good neighbor, help us move it along, so thank you.
Take care, guys. Next, we have Melissa Pruger here to talk about MS4. It fulfills one of our public education and participation requirements. So I'm going to turn on the screen sharing, and she will present from our podium. So bear with me for like 90 seconds.
I have handouts too, do you want to know that? Yeah. It's just you want one, Robert?
Sure. Thank you.
John? It's not as backwards. So, I'm just going to discuss pretty quickly, the township's MS4 program. MS4 is your municipal separate storm sewer system. And, it's a collection of storm sewer structures that includes basins, ditches, inlets, and piping that are designed and designed to collect and discharge stormwater in the streams without prior treatment. And in 2016, the township was required to apply for a permit through the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection due to existing high-quality streams such as the Sambo and Broadhead Creek and the township's population density. This permit has an effective date of September 1st, 2018, and will expire August 31st, 2023, at which time the township will most likely have to reapply. And under the MS4 program and the permit, the township is required to meet 6 minimum control measures. Through these measures, residents, businesses, and township staff can learn more about keeping your local waterways and environment clean through activities such as cleanup or preventing and eliminating illicit discharges. Another requirement is for the township to file a status report each year, which shows compliance with minimum control measures. And so I'm going to go through 6 minimum control measures, which are public education outreach, public participation and involvement, illicit discharge detection and elimination, construction site stormwater runoff controls, post-construction runoff controls, and pollution prevention and good housekeeping for municipal facilities. The first one is public education and outreach, and this is basically information that's provided to the public or, residents, businesses in the township that gives information on how to keep existing streams clean. The DEP requires this to be distributed in various ways. Public meetings, which you're doing now, the township website, providing material at the municipal building, newsletters and emails, and social media. And the township provides that material through these sources right now. MCM number 2 is public participation and involvement. This includes volunteer opportunities, whether through the township or other affiliations. They're advertised right now through social media, newsletters, emails, website, and the municipal lobby. They include community roadside cleanup. And then I also mentioned that it can be through other affiliations like the Broadhead Watershed Association, which may have some public involvement that the residents can participate in. I wanted to point out one that you recently did, or a couple you recently did, was you did township cleanup in September 2020, so that counts towards that MCM. And then there was something else. Housing cleanup, there's pick up the Poconos, things like that. Yeah, and they were all advertised through your website and Facebook. MCM number 3, which is illicit discharge and elimination. So illicit discharges are caused by a variety of sources, some of which are untreated sewage or septic discharges, dumping of hazardous materials into storm sewer inlets, or even the streams themselves, industrial discharges, and careless vehicle maintenance. So illicit discharge education has been distributed through those sources, township sources, one of which I saw today is on the township website for summer tips that includes car washing, keeping a spill kit for any oil or gas spills. And then the other item that's required under the MCM 3 is to observe any existing outfalls twice during a 5-year permit period. So our office did complete that last year, and we expect to do it again next year. The next two are quite straightforward. MCM number 4, which is construction site stormwater runoff control. The township ordinances require that any developer follows the DEP Chapter 102 requirements for erosion and sedimentation control. So anything over 1 acre does go to Monroe County Conservation District for review. We do, as township engineer, review plans that are under and over 1 acre. And then same thing with your MCM number 5, post-construction ordinance requires stormwater management to be addressed, to address peak flows, water quality, and infiltration and groundwater recharge. Projects over 1 acre are required to go to the Monroe County Conservation District for review. Our office also reviews projects over an acre and under an acre. And then the last MCM is MCM number 6, pollution prevention and good housekeeping. So every year, the township distributes an operation and maintenance outline to the Public Works Department. And that discusses illicit discharges and illegal dumping, excessive sediment, the use of erosion and sedimentation controls, and improper containment of trash after construction projects, maintenance of existing stormwater management facilities, vehicle maintenance, and hazardous materials. I understand that this was already completed this year, so that has been satisfied. That's it. If you need additional MS4 materials, they can be found on your website. You can click on the DEP link or go directly there.
I have one quick question, and thank you for doing this. This was awesome.
Great.
Because now anybody can literally view this clip from our website and our YouTube and everything, so that probably counts for at least one of these things.
Absolutely.
So that's good. I don't know if you've heard about, well, there's all sorts of issues with this year's, or this past year's census. With the change in how the OMB is considering changing urbanization to a different form of density that essentially like doubles in size, I'm wondering if that were to happen and urbanization changes and then Smithfield falls out of that, do you think we might still fall? Yeah, I'm not trying to evade this. I'm just curious if that happens during our next permitting period. With that,
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, my initial thought is that once you have it, you probably have to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean DEP will change the rental market. And I haven't heard anything for any. It would.
okay. Does anybody have any other questions for Nancy?
I just have one.
Sure.
Melissa, it's very helpful because I have this issue with other townships and boroughs, and no one seems to be able to tell me what's going on. Now I understand a little better here with this. This program is basically for water quality, correct? Not quantity, not trying to put it back into the system, water quality,
That's correct.
Excellent. Anything else?
I just wish there, was more of an outreach program towards, households on some of these issues. Talk about construction sites and, industrial places, which is certainly where there's more pollution, but if we could do it on a household level, at least people will be aware of what it is. And there are also questions like, okay, you've got grease, from cooking bacon, what do you do with it? You can't put it down the drain, you shouldn't put it in your garbage, what do you do?
Right.
There's no answer to that, and
Right. Anybody can sign up for your email blast, but you're not gonna get all the rest, and, you're correct. I'm not sure how else to do that, but mass mailing is huge.
Sure. Well, we can talk more about it as we go, but, thus far, I think we've done well, and it's thanks to you.
You're welcome.
So, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, and now I will take it back to the camera, as we can, meeting, Frank, over to you.
Just a good job. I'm telling you, you need a raise.
Actually, Chairman, I'd just like to suspend my application till the next meeting if I could.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the special event, I'd like to suspend it if I could. Can you just eliminate that for the moment?
Sure, if you're going to ask that, then we can,
Yeah, that's all I think.
Oh, okay.
this is something we said.
No. It's, I'll give you a call.
No, I think we're good, but thanks for coming out.
All right, safe trip back.
Take care, Missy.
Bye, Brian.
Bye-bye.
Well, let's jump to H, just so, the applicant for, the special event permit, Mr. Ricky Bono, is here, and he's asked that we, table this until the next, meeting, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Excellent. Hearing that, I move that we table this item until our May 11th, meeting.
I'll second
Second
that.
by Mr. Levenhon. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Sounds good. Okay. Next to the resolution number 474, amending township septic fees. This shifts us to the escrow model for our septic applications, as we are currently hemorrhaging money and therefore effectively subsidizing people's projects. This is what we discussed voting to vote on at this meeting at our previous work session. So, does anybody have any questions? I know, Julia, you had sent those out by email.
Yes, and you guys saw this and discussed it at our last meeting, so should be good to go. This will change this resolution, and then the next resolution you'll consider will officially update the entire fee schedule.
Excellent. Okay. Hearing that, do I hear a motion to adopt resolution number 474, amending township septic fees? Okay, motion by Mr. Levenheim. Is there a second?
Second.
And by Mr. Barrett. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Hey, one question, Jacob. On both of these amendments, I guess we're in pretty much the same situation, the same, fee structure as our neighbors.
Oh, yeah. Scott and, his firm Hanover, they are the SDO for a number of other municipalities, and some of them have...
Yeah, I saw that come through, right. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. And then next is Resolution 475, amending the township fee schedule. This incorporates the changes for the septic fees that we just did, and also incorporates a couple of changes based on the Pennsylvania Office of Open Records changing some fees, some for the better, some for the worse, for the right to know law. And talk about these. I think it primarily reduces the cost of things like CDs, which now are much cheaper than they had been a couple of years ago, as well as USBs. It also and
it creates distinctions between copies under and over 1,000. Well, there is no price difference.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, well, now the distinction, so changes on the price of USBs and CDs. I think one went up and one went down for this change, and then the other is there's a distinction between copies that are over 1,000 pages or under 1,000 pages, though they are both still 25 cents a page. For some reason, they made that distinction.
Okay, yeah, that came through from the Office of Open Records. So, do you think we should? Is this worthwhile? Maybe posting to our site in a redacted form, so that requesters and others would at least be able. We can refer them there, and so that they would know what the fees that might be involved.
Yeah, as soon as, if the board does vote to change this fee schedule, we'll take down the fee schedule that we have on the website right now for the right to know law and put up this one. So on the same place as here's the request form, and here's who our open records officer is, That information will be right under that, so there are no surprises as they go to request documents.
Amen. Okay. And, yeah, fine, that's good.
Excellent. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 475?
Motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Barrett, second by Mr. Levenheim. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Next is considering resolution number 476, lot consolidation for St. Paul's Lutheran Church. Earlier today, I signed the conflict of interest form, and therefore I'm going to recuse myself from discussion on this matter. My mother is the church council president, and I've been a lifelong member at the church, so I felt it's only right to recuse myself on this item yet again. So I will leave it to my colleagues.
Okay, and it's been presented, and I thought we had, I thought we had everything in order. I guess this is just the resolution is what we need to finalize the lot consolidation. Jacob, is that correct?
I'll take over from here.
Okay.
John and Ron, I believe you have or do not have the new deeds joining the parcels at this point.
Uh-huh.
This is Ron talking, Brian.
Yes.
I don't have the deed, but you can still adopt the resolution, on condition that they'll then file the deed for review by John and I. If you recall, they had to enter into an agreement, which I think we did back in January, to terminate and release the restrictive covenant.
Yeah.
I don't have it signed here in front of me, but within 60 days of signing that agreement, they were going to file a unification and merger deed, and they may not have been able to, meet that deadline, which again, this is the church. We're not going to hold their feet to the fire by any means, but they should be sending us the deed to look at. So again, you could do the resolution, and on condition that the deed will be, will be submitted, because it says there that, hold on for 1 second. Yeah, number 3, it says that the unification will be reflected in a new deed that's been prepared by the applicant attorney, etc.
Okay.
And on top of that, the church has requested that we waive the fee for doing this lot consolidation. I do not recall if we have already acted upon waiving that, or if that is something that needs to be presented.
We can include that then, Julia, in our motion to waive the fee. So, all right, I'm ready to make the motion to approve Resolution 476. I guess, Ron, on the condition that the paperwork, the consolidation paperwork will be presented, and we would waive the fees for consideration of the resolution.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Mr. Barrett and second by Mr. Levenheim. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I recuse myself. Motion, the resolution is adopted 2 to 1. 2 to 0 to 1. Okay. Next is discussing Marshall's Falls DCNR grant update. I know earlier we had a discussion with Christine DeTore. Julia, do you want to summarize the discussion?
Sure. So the summary of this is we recently purchased 274 Marshall Creek Road as a way to help us create Marshall's Falls, make the area more accessible, and put a parking lot in. We ran into an issue because DCNR requires that the township own all of the land to be simple, and it seems that we did not. After having our meeting earlier today with Christine, it looks like we do in fact own the land, to be simple, and the loan that we took out, in essence, to pay for that property is simply a loan that the township took out and is not in any way affiliated with the 274 Marshall Creek property. I have not had the opportunity since 3:30 today to complete this research, but if that's the case, we've spoken to Christine. DCNR would like to see the documents to verify this for themselves, but we should be good. The reason we're talking about this now is the initial reasons the board decided to take this item out was because we were concerned about cash flow related to COVID. As it stands now, the loan is for $125,000, and over the 5 years, we'll be paying approximately $8,000 on interest. So as part of the DCNR grant discussion, the board had also, I offered it to the board, do we want to consider paying off this loan now, to save ourselves on the interest and clear up any possible concerns we might have with DCNR and owning the land.
Ron, you walked through the process of closing this deal and getting a loan with me. I think you agree with it was just a loan to the township.
I mean, I haven't looked at the documentation.
Yeah.
I can't remember if a mortgage was taken out against the property.
Yeah.
I don't believe so. I think it was simply a loan.
Yeah.
That was.
And I don't even think there was a lien on the property. It was just a loan to the township.
Well, I'm saying if a mortgage would have been taken out, well, then obviously the township would have had to go through the Local Government Unit Debt Act, the Laguda restrictions, et cetera. I don't think any of that occurred. I think it was simply a go to closing, here's your check, here's your deed, and that's it. I mean, I'll double check tomorrow to be sure, but I can't think there's anything out there other than just a loan to pay it.
And then we'll have the opportunity to discuss amongst ourselves again if we want to consider if it behooves us to just purchase it outright.
I think since the reason why we initially borrowed is now since become a much lesser factor. I think I would favor just paying off the loan and saying, we've got this property, there's no issue with it, and going from there. I mean, since we want the deferred payments to have cash flow for liquid fuels, and then liquid fuels, rather than being 30 to 50% of what it was supposed to be, ended up being 90 to 95% of what it needed to be. I think, paying for it outright is probably, mission accomplished.
Amen. I guess what we should do is that we should still follow up for Christine DeTorre's sake, and have, and then we can just move forward. And it's just that, as you said, Jacob, all we have to do is say, yeah, it makes sense, and we're going to purchase it outright, and that's it. and just take care of that the loan. But we'll see. Let Ron go through his research, and we'll all take a look at our notes and see what we've got. And two scenarios here. If it in fact is not a mortgage, then we have the option of staying with it or buying it out.
Or doing it at our leisure. I think as long as we inform them that there's no lien on the property, that it wasn't a mortgage, that it was an outright loan to the township, they're fine.
Yep.
Then we do it as we wish.
But she's going to want some documentation. Is all I'm saying. So it's going to take. I guess there's no reason for us to even treat this as an item to be considered this evening to buy it. I guess you agree with me on that, right?
Yeah.
Tonight to make a decision like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You can.
And Mr. Chair, tomorrow in the morning when I look at the matter for the Smithfield Gateway, I'll pull this file and check that. And again, you'll know quick and in a hurry if there's anything I'm missing here. But I thought, in fact, when you say a loan, I thought the township just wrote it out of the general account. I didn't even know you got a loan. I thought you just gave them a check and here's the deed.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you didn't even loan it, you actually paid for it.
Well,
No,
We-
we
I
do
got a
have a
check.
loan through FNB.
Oh,
I went to the bank and got a check, that's the check that I
Yeah.
turned over.
Okay,
from the
well, that's
closing.
fine. Okay. So I'll double check that, so.
All right, next is item G, considering commitment letter regarding Marshall's Falls demolition phase 1 grant. Julia, I know you can also speak to that.
Sure. So this is a grant through the Redevelopment Authority of Monroe County. They offer a program that gives, townships and other nonprofits $40,000 to do construction on blighted property. You received the estimate from Passenger, I believe, on the 26th or 26th, Monday. And our guesstimated costs are coming in at just over $51,000. This commitment letter commits the township to paying just under $12,000 for this property, for this grant application as a match. As the township was budgeting its funds last year, we did put $20,000 into capital improvements for Marshall's Falls. So this money is covered under the budget that you were planning to spend. At this point, if you're willing to sign the commitment letter, tonight, you've already signed the resolution saying that you are approving, that you are going after this grant. So with this letter, I will then be able to submit the grant to the Redevelopment Authority tomorrow. And just as a reminder, this is for the 3 outbuildings on the parcel, not the main house.
Right.
That will be a phase 2 application.
And it does include the barn, correct?
That's correct. It will include the barn, the cottage, and the shed in the back.
Got it. And Dan Leeds, his appraisal came in yesterday at, what was it, 31,000?
I don't have the exact number in front of me, but it was somewhere near that, yes.
I think, yeah, okay. Okay, great. Do you need, well, I'm going to be in tomorrow to sign anyway, so do I have to sign anything in this regard?
For the commitment letter, I believe it's just the chair that would need to sign, and then we're good to submit.
Okay, all right.
Do I hear a motion regarding authorizing the chair to sign the commitment letter for the Marshall's Falls demolition phase 1 grant?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Barrett, second by Mr. Levenheim, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, tabled item H previously. So I is, considering awarding the Waterfront Wellness Park Phase 2 contract. We received 3 bids. They also included, the alternate, and this was handled by Barry Eifert Associates. The low bidder is Pioneer Construction, at $109,106, and that, is without the alternate. Julia, is there anything else to add to this one?
Besides that, the alternate bid, as you know, this is for the benefit of the public, the alternate bid was for a crushed stone pathway instead of the asphalt. Brian Smith took a look at the difference, and we're looking at $6,000 between the 2 of them. So he feels that you should pursue, adopting the bid without the alternate, because the crushed stone pathway will involve a lot more maintenance than the asphalt one. So he feels it's well worth your while to spend the extra $6,000 now, so we don't have to spend it in the future.
And that makes a lot of sense, Julia. Yep.
Especially for accessibility. With that said, I'll make a motion that we award the Waterfront Wellness Park Phase 2 contract to Pioneer Construction without the alternate bid.
Let me ask Jacob, Ron Strausser, who that company is owned by my son-in-law. Should I recuse myself in this respect? There was a motion made, and if I were to second that motion, would that be okay?
Well, your son-in-law is not getting this contract, so I don't see that being an issue.
No, he did bid it.
Oh, he did get it?
Oh, no, he bid it but did not get the contract.
He bid it, but he did not get it, so I don't see that
Oh,
being
no.
an issue.
Okay, well then I'll second the motion, Jacob.
If he was getting the bid, then that would be different.
Okay, no, he didn't come close, so. Yeah, I'll second that
Okay.
motion.
By Mr. Levenheim, second by Mr. Barrett, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is considering
Good.
awarding the 2021 spring cleanup contract. There was one bid on that, and that was for, by Waste Management for, up to 30-yard roll-off dumpsters, for bulk items, not including tire collection, but Ed, I think, has historically done that on his own anyway. And the flat rate charge is $1,455 per haul, which includes container delivery, transportation, and disposal. Does anybody have any questions on that?
I'll just say, Jacob and Julia, I know you're familiar with it. It's up, but is it up considerably over last year?
Maybe by about $100.
Which, well, isn't bad in this day and age.
No, and we have increased our fees, last year. So,
Yep.
Keeping those with this year, I think that we should make out a little better. At least we're not going to hemorrhage, the way it could have been. And I think, Ed noticed that some people are beginning to dump now, so we're fortunate that cleanup is about 2 weeks away.
Yes, and we'll make sure that we promote it further on our social media to prevent our road crews from needing to go out and clean up dumping on our township roads.
Well, I'll make
Okay.
a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Levenheim and second by Mr. Barrett. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, next is awarding the 2021 ground maintenance contract. Our low bidder in that regard, in this case, is Strausser Nature's Helpers, which came out to $17,162.
17,162, you said?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve that.
All right.
And I will recuse myself in this instance, stating simply that Strausser is Nature's Helpers. Owner is my son-in-law.
Okay, let the record reflect Mr. Barrett recused himself. I seconded Mr. Levenheim's motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bid is awarded 2-0-1. Okay. And before we consider bills, the final item, I think it may be the wrong address. I is discussing and considering 527 Seven Bridge Road appraisal. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be 527 or 528.
528.
528.
528.
I'll speak to this. I've been in touch with Howard Mantle, who was the appraiser on the Gary Swartz property, and he's studied it. He's willing to do an appraisal for $1,500, and my feeling is, especially with John Tressler's letter of today, outlining what probably would be the costs and the probability of what we would do if and when we can fix the current Seven Bridge Road into Green Mountain Estates, that one way or another, we're probably going to make some kind of arrangement with the owners of 528, which is DLP, whether it's a purchase, whether it's an easement. I think it behooves us to have a sense of what the property is worth in any case, so that we have some way of negotiating with them from a point where we can defend it. So I would say that we should maybe approve up to $1,500 for the appraisal by Howard Mantle.
Howard did the Schwartz appraisal, Robert?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and he comes highly recommended. So, well, if you think it's worthwhile, and your reasoning is spot on. If we're going to move in this direction, and we have to cover our own tracks, we need to be prepared. And and this is an integral part of that preparation. So, do you want to make that motion? Do you want me to make it? I'll make the motion that we engage them in not to exceed $1,500.
I've actually got a question for the board, and actually for John Tressler at this point. John, you are aware of what we are considering doing, with CLC. Are we at a spot, and do we have the proper materials that we need to get a viable assessment from, Howard?
I believe you are, you know, I mean, I think he will do is, he'll probably pull the deed from the courthouse, and he will make a site inspection. I'm gonna do something similar to, outline costs and steps if you're gonna move beyond it, whether it be to just enter into a formal agreement for an emergency access, or if the board determines that they would prefer to turn this into part of Green Mountain Drive and purchase it in fee and adopt it as part of their roadway, I'm gonna give them those alternatives, but he has enough information to do what he's supposed to do.
Wonderful, thank you, board. Where we are right now, Brian motion.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
And Mr. Loveenheim seconded the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, just so we don't have the same issue as we had with the Migliaccio property, this appraisal is required if you're gonna purchase property.
Correct.
And Howard, I don't know anything about him, but he needs to be approved or certified under the Real Estate Appraisers Act. So make sure that he has that qualification.
I'm
So we
sure,
don't get into that issue again.
we'll check it, but I'm sure he does.
Okay,
Can I
Robert and Brian, would you amend your motion to, include that certification?
Certainly. You bet.
Okay, amending that motion by Mr. Barrett. Is there a second to amend?
And I'll second that.
Okay, second by Mr. Loveenheim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One other thing, I'm thinking if we're talking, and we don't have any, he doesn't have any interest in this property, correct?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we're discussing this, do you think we need a land survey? You thought that perhaps, there's an incursion in their property from the current road.
Well, and I didn't get a chance to pull the recorded plans yet. I stopped there on my way to the meeting tonight, and the road appears to be constructed different than what is shown on the plan that I forwarded to you. So, at some point, whether it be, just an agreement or an outright purchase, we are gonna need a survey, but I don't think you need it for the appraisal.
Okay, all right. Next is consideration of the bills. We have,
Sorry,
Oh,
Mr. Chair.
you have one more thing?
Yeah, if you don't mind, we
okay.
actually need to return to item I. There was something that I forgot to discuss concerning the Wellness Park Phase 2 bid.
Oh, okay,
My
sure.
apologies.
No problem.
So board, at this point, between our engineering fees for the project and the bid, the way that it came in, Very Eyes had originally estimated it to come in a bit lower. Due to COVID and availability of materials, it's driven the price up, which in total right now puts us $26,000 over our budget for Phase 2. Brian Smith has indicated that we can send a letter to DCNR asking for assistance with those funds. But the way that they provide that assistance is in the form of a one-to-one match. So because we're $26,000 over, we can ask them for assistance, but the board would simultaneously need to commit an additional $13,000 in cash to this project. So I am coming to you tonight to ask if it is okay if we sign a commitment letter for that and ask DCNR for the additional funds.
I guess my only question is there any alternative?
The alternative, if we don't ask DCNR, is that we are responsible for the full $26,000 on our own. This is no guarantee that DCNR has money to give us.
Right.
But the best we can do is ask and see if we can defer our costs.
So it's kind of like we pay, or we pay?
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
Certainly with that, you know, if in limited circumstances DCNR is willing to either help or foot the bill, that's, there's no sense in not trying. So, I'll move that we authorize the signature on a letter, requesting that assistance from DCNR. Second by Mr. Barrett, by Mr. Levenheim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, and then next is, I don't even know, that's technically M, okay, right? All right. So next is 9, which is the bills. We have 2 bill packs to ratify, March 30th, 2021, April 14th, 2021, and then paying today's bills. The grand total of $149,689.70, which includes 2 payrolls, all of our monthly bills, and Oak Grove, our contribution for the whole year rather than the typical half and half. So that's why it is, might be a little bloated. Not to mention that we did at one point have to have an emergency payment for the replacement. There was a down electrical live wire at Minnesink that Ed had to hire someone to take care of. With that, is there any questions?
Not here. I have none.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $149,689.70?
I'll motion. All right. Robert made the motion. I'll second it.
Okay, fair enough. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is there anything else before we proceed to public comment? Okay. Okay, public comments. Is there anybody on Zoom? We no longer have any individuals in the meeting room. Okay. Hearing none, do I hear a motion that we adjourn this meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
You got 2 motions. Now you need a second.
Okay, fair enough. Motion simultaneously by Mr. Barrett and Mr. Levenheim, seconded by myself. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned at 8:15 p.m.
Not bad. Good job. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Yes.
Yep.
All right. We will see you tomorrow.